everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Manifesting Me show. This is a component or a segment of my Rockstar Manifestors podcast. So I do the Manifesting Me show live on Facebook and Instagram, and then it becomes a podcast episode the next day. And so I am here today to share with you some of my, birthday practices. So the day that I'm recording this, and let's hope the internet continues to work with us. I see the little symbol, but so today, the day that I'm recording this, or that this is live right now, is April 17th, and it is my birthday today. I am an Aries baby, and so I'm celebrating my birthday today. I completed my 52nd trip around the sun, so 52, and I thought, since my birthday falls on the day that I record this podcast or this episode and go live, I would share with you just kind of like some personal ways that I work with my birthday, some things that I do, and maybe share how you can apply some of these things and possibly even tweak them for you, right? Because that's when things have the most meaning, and when also things have the most benefit, or you see results if it's that type of activity, when it is actually meaningful to you, it's attached to something. And what is more personal and unique to you than your birthday? So let's go. I'm going to share with you kind of like some ways that I look at my birthday, share some ways of thinking or looking at this, this birthday experience, I guess, if you will. So I'm switching. There we go. So first of all, a little bit of, I don't want to say lesson, but just a little bit of terminology, because a lot of what I have to share is connected to astrology, and it's not deep, but I do want to make sure that you guys are, if you're not already familiar, just familiar with the terminology, and I will explain it and kind of go through. So first of all, I'll start with the term of solar return. If you're not familiar with that, you may have heard someone say happy solar return, or it's my solar return. That is the day of your birthday. That's your birthday. And what that means is the sun in the sky it moves throughout the sky, right? In different parts of the segment of the sky that the earth inhabits. And for example, I'm an Aries, and everybody who is an Aries has their birthdays from about March 21st to April 21st, somewhere in there. And then that's because the sun is in Aries during that time, in the zodiac sign of Aries. And then it will move on to Taurus, because that is the next sign. And then there will be Taurus season. So everyone who's a Taurus will be having their birthdays the next month. So that's why it's called the solar season. The season that the sun is in that zodiac sign, that's what referred to as like Aries season, Taurus season, Gemini season, all the seasons, because the sun spends about a month in that zodiac sign. So when you're born, that's how it is determined what your sign is, what your zodiac sign is. And so I'm an Aries, and so as the sun moves through all 12 zodiac signs, it returns to the same zodiac sign and the same spot in space, the same place in the sky as it was when and at the time that you were born. So that is the solar return. The sun is returning back to that spot, to that space. And so as the earth travels around the sun, it takes a year. So our solar return is our birthday. So that is the very basic concept of that. So solar return, today is my solar return, because it is the day I was born, and the sun is in the same space in the sky as it was on the day that I was born. So that's solar return. And the first concept that I want to share with you is actually one that I learned from a friend of mine. She is a fabulous astrologer. And again, this is not going to go deep into astrology, but it builds on this solar return concept. And so if you think about the sun as representing vitality, like your personal inner sun, your vitality, your energy, so to speak, solar energy, right? And so, like I said, it takes a whole year to go around the sun and come back to our birthday, our solar return. And my friend was talking about, she did a video talking about like the pre-birthday blues or blahs, something along those lines. And if you're on my email list, I just sent an email out about this. So it's this concept of maybe a few weeks before your birthday, you feel kind of blah, not necessarily sad, just kind of blah. Maybe your energy is a little lower than normal, or you're noticing that you just don't have as much energy. And so if you think of the sun, think of solar batteries, right? Like how the sun charges solar batteries, or solar batteries are power recharged by the sun, or solar panels. You get the concept. The sun charges those things. And so if you think of our battery, our solar battery being charged when on our birthday, and when we're born, it's full. And so then as we go around the sun, our solar battery kind of goes down. That's not bad or good. It's like any battery. As it goes, it's being used, things happen. So our solar battery is going down. And so the few weeks before our birthday, it's getting close to that red mark, right? You're like where the red light might be flashing, or it's kind of, if you have an icon, like your phone battery, it's emptying, right? It's getting less full. You see it emptying. So if you think of it like that, then come your birthday, your solar battery is recharged again. And I did feel like that this morning. I woke up singing Happy Solar Return Day to me. I just woke up and got up, and I did feel just like more vitalized, and actually went to bed later than normal, sort of yesterday, I think. And so it's just this life force type of battery, right? So think of that. And so your solar return day is like your battery gets charged, your solar battery. Hi, Janice, thank you. And so that is one way to think about it, right? So your battery is recharged, your solar battery recharged on your birthday. And so my solar battery was recharged, is fully recharged today. And so now a couple ways that I look at my birthday, or kind of like how I have come to work with this year-long cycle from birthday to birthday. So I started thinking a couple years ago or so, like my birthday and anybody's birthday, but I was applying it to me personally. My birthday is basically my personal new year, because that's when I was born, right? That's when I came into the world. And so that is my personal new year. I see this as my beginning of the year because it's when my story started. That's when I came into the world and, as a human, and began growing and celebrating birthdays and such. So if you think of it for yourself, whenever you were born, whenever your birthday is, that's also your personal new year. And so what do people tend to do at the beginning of the year or for the new year? Maybe set goals, make plans. I personally don't work with resolutions. I set intentions and goals to some level. And so that's what I look at it as. But, things that you want to accomplish this year, maybe projects that you want to do. So look at your year ahead, starting on your birthday, and maybe just like from the new calendar year, look at the stuff, evaluate the year behind and what was good, what was not good or challenging. And one of the things that I like to do is look at the things that I have manifested intentionally, like things that I set goals or intentions for and manifested intentionally, and also things that I manifested by accident or unintentionally because I was doing the work on myself and becoming this rock star of my life, right? You hear me talk a lot about first becoming the person who has all of the things that you want to then attract them more easily. And that's how I work with creating vision boards when I do vision board workshops and things like that. Becoming the person and what it feels like to be that version of yourself. And so looking back at the last year and saying, what did I manifest intentionally? What are the things that the goals that I checked off? And what things did I manifest by accident and by circumstance? And because I attracted those opportunities or those things based on my actions, my energy, my vibe, whatever it is that that it makes sense to you. So do that kind of evaluation and then look forward. What do you want to continue carrying with you into the next year? What things about your life are great? What things about your life do you want to amplify? What do you want more of, right? And the things that are challenging or not, the circumstances that are not as desired, what can you learn from that? How can you change that moving forward? What aspects of your life do you want to change? There's so many ways to look at that, but just kind of like use it as a personal new year, whatever that means to you, or maybe discovering what that means to you, because this is when we start our story, the day and the moment that we're born. So personal new year and your solar return, your personal solar battery being charged at your birthday. So now looking at my notes, now some things that you might want to incorporate, some practices, or I don't know if habits is quite the right word or not. So one thing, I'll show you something here, but I'll tell you how I've done this in the past too. I like to use my birthday as a time to start a project, like a year-long project or something that I'm going to work on throughout the year or learn, but something that is long-term. And usually it's something that's just personal for me, like a hobby or something. A couple years ago, it was getting back into learning a new language, learning French. So I have dabbled in that several times throughout my life. And I'm not going to say that I'm fluent in it. I'm not, but I did implement through making that the focus last year that I listened to podcasts in the French language. So it's not just lessons, but I learn how to just infuse it into my life more consistently. And there are podcasts, like I said, that I listen to. I have a playlist of French music. And so that's one of the ways that I establish that throughout the year. And I have an app. I don't go to like classes or online classes. At least I haven't as of yet. But that's one of the things that I want to make normalize, like a regular thing for myself, because down the line on my vision board, I have going to Paris and France, and not just once, but making that something that I do fairly regularly, be it yearly or whatever that looks like. So learning a new language, some kind of project that you want to work on throughout the year. And it doesn't have to be something that big either. Like this year, and last year I did it too. I had a dedicated themed journal that I started. Last year, my sister, so on my birthday, I started it. So the Christmas before, last Christmas, not this most recent one, one of my sisters gave me a journal that was seasonally themed. It's like it had some spring prompts, you know, and for each season. And it wasn't every day. It just had, I don't know, let's say 10 or 12 different prompts for each season. And it started in spring, which is the beginning of the zodiac year as well. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac calendar. And so it started in spring. And so I started it on my birthday. And if I'm being honest, I did not do every single prompt of each season, but I did do at least 1 or 2 prompts of each season. And more. I think that I looked through it this last weekend. I think 2 was the lowest. And so I didn't do all the prompts, but I did check in on it throughout the year and get some prompts, you know, written and stuff like that. So I can definitely still go back and fill it in because it's not dated. But that's kind of what I was working through last year, kind of carrying that throughout the whole year. This year, I'm doing the same thing, but with a different book, a different journal. And I came across this, a friend, I think my friend Michelle showed it. I know she showed it to me, but I don't think I had seen it before that. So I ordered this for myself and I'm going to start it tonight. And it's a journal called Big Fucking Dreams. That's the journal. And so it relates to manifesting, and it has to do like with the moon, and it's just different ways of looking at things. And I really love the book. So I'm going to be starting that for this birthday, and I'm carrying that throughout the year. I didn't really have, or I don't as of right now, have like a brand new project. So maybe I will incorporate kind of just amping up, getting to a next level, maybe more conversational with my French. So see, I'm like connecting to things I've started and done in the past. So it doesn't have to be new every year, or maybe you just reach another level of something that you work on every year. So that's the thing that I'm doing this year. That's the project, the journal, and maybe getting upping it. Maybe I'll attend, now that I'm talking about it in real time out loud, maybe attending like meetups, like French language meetups at like coffee shops and things like that. I know they're out there because I've seen them on meetup.com, and there's practice groups. So maybe that's how I kind of up level what I started as a project a while back. So it's just incorporating it in your life in different ways and working with it. So got the project, and then setting personal goals. And I have, of course, you know, just what's a phrase that on brand for me, doing things my way, tweaking them so they're not the normal way or the standard way of doing things. One of the ways that I like to look and work with goals is to really, it goes along with this book, just like thinking really big, really out there, beyond the everyday things, like beyond like moving to, I don't know, what are some common ones, like moving to a new home or having a new home or getting a car or reaching a certain financial level. Those feel, what's the word? To me, they not mundane, because it's not mundane, but every day. Like those are the things that we're going to do regardless, right? Like wherever we live, or whatever our circumstances, we're going to have rent or a house payment or whatever. If you're an RVer, you know what that looks like. If you're someone who lives in a mobile home, like whatever that costs, like the rent for the lot or whatever that is. So those are like incorporated at whatever level we are. Those are part of like everyday life for me. So they don't motivate me. They don't inspire me so much, right? At least me personally. So what I realized for myself a while back was that looking at goals is like, think like beyond the everyday expenses, beyond the stuff that we're going to do anyway. And for me, on my goals list currently that I have started putting together is having season passes to all of the amusement parks that I like around here. So I'm in LA. So that would be, for me, the ones that I want is like Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm and Universal Studios. And so having season passes to those, that's like beyond like the everyday level of things, right? That's fun. Definitely motivated by fun for myself. So having those types of goals and being able to, I don't know, there's like a certain thing that I want to do for someone. I'm keeping that quiet because I don't know if the person or people listen to this. So there is something that I want to do for someone, and that is definitely kind of like the like on the splurging side of things. And the reason that I work with goals in this manner is because if I'm using those as my beacon, as the thing that I want to get to, in order to do those things, right? If I'm at a point, take that back, when I'm at the point that I can go get season passes for all the amusement parks, and I'll do them probably one at a time. And when I'm at that point, and when I'm at the point that I can just do these fun things, that means all of the day-to-day stuff is already taken care of. You know, my living expenses, my regular expenditures, my day-to-day things. That means those are already taken care of at whatever level I want them to be at or that I'm at. And then I have the extra to do the fun things. And so that's how I set goals. That's one of the ways that I set goals, looking at the really fun things that I want to be doing, which then motivates me to do and reach new levels in the day-to-day so that I can do those goals, accomplish those goals, and attack those things. So hopefully that makes sense in how I'm trying to portray that. And what else did I write on here? So have the project, personal goals, and then I'm going to connect it to the lunar cycle. Yes. So the name of my business is Blue Moon Manifestations. And so if you're newer to Blue Moon Manifestations, or you're not sure, I definitely work with the lunar cycle. And that is not something that is required or necessary for manifesting of any kind. It's just what resonates with me, that I like working with the lunar cycle. And so with this concept of looking at your birthday, like your year, this trip around the sun for our solar return, looking at an entire year, starting with your birthday as one long lunar cycle, right? So a lunar cycle for the moon is a month, like 28-ish, 29-ish days, right? It's a month. We have a new moon every month, a full moon every month. It's about 28 days a cycle. So every month, that's the standard lunar cycle with the moon. But we can apply this concept of a lunar cycle to an hour, to a day, and to a whole year, right? And I like to work with the quarters, the 4 quarters of the lunar cycle, the new moon, the first quarter moon, the full moon, and the last quarter, or the third quarter. Some people call it either or. So if you think of that as a clock, right? The new moon is at 12 o'clock. I think it's backwards, so I'm not going to do the other signs. But the first quarter moon is at the 3 o'clock position. The full moon is at 6. And then the third or last quarter moon is at 9. And so you can apply that framework, like I said, to an hour, to a day, break it down into those quarters, and you can do it to a year, and it can follow the seasonal cycle, right? Depending on when your birthday falls, it might not naturally follow the seasonal cycle, but you still experience those seasonal cycles. So because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, it starts the zodiac year, it does fall in spring. So my new moon, which is when when we're born, the new moon time is our birthday. And if you look at the first 6 months from your birthday to 6 months after your birthday, that would be the waxing phase of the moon for the year, like when things are growing, when you're taking action, when you're setting goals, when you're setting those intentions for the year. So look at that throughout the first half of the year. And then the second 6 months of your personal year are the waning months, the waning half of the lunar cycle, when you're letting things go, when you're looking at the things you want to release based on what you've learned. And you can break it down, whether it matches the seasons or not, still work with the seasons based on your birthday. So there'll be different layers. And that's a way of looking at your birthday as a lunar cycle, your unique personal lunar cycle that overlaps with the zodiac calendar and with the new moons of the zodiac and the solar seasons, your personal solar return. And all of this is to say that I have found these are all ways that help me focus on me and help me identify the type of person that I want to be, that help me identify who I want to, to show up as. And that helps get clearer, or helps or gives me clarity on the dreams that I want to achieve and the things that I want to have in my life, the things that I want to do. The better I get to know me, the clearer those things become. And the less I worry about what other people expect of me, the less I worry about trying to live up to, or if you've heard me say this, down to others' expectations. The less I worry about other people being uncomfortable with who I am, because I become more and more comfortable with myself. And so that's this process that I have developed and that really works for me. And I love sharing that and helping people I work with do that for themselves. And so if this is something that resonates with you, I have several different ways that you can start to learn about it. First of all, there is my free Facebook group. It's the Moon Manifesting Rockstars Facebook group. And it's obviously it's on Facebook. I was just going to say it's on Facebook. So it is a Facebook group, Moon Manifesting Rockstars Facebook group. And there I have a monthly call that coincides with the solar seasons. So like I talked about the sun being in a sign for a month. So Taurus season starts in a couple days on Friday night, I believe. And so on Sunday is this month's live to learn about the upcoming Taurus season and goals you might want to set with Taurus season, activities that kind of coincide and align with Taurus energy. So that group covers the solar season. And I talk about that every month. And there's activities, like there's a monthly free activity or challenge or something that goes on in there as well. And I am incorporating, like tweaking things in that group as well to have more engagement and fun things like that as you're learning about yourself through the solar seasons. And if you want to look at the moon and this concept that I have developed of manifesting me, which is becoming the person who is living your dreams, in order to attract them more, I have now a program. And it started out as a DIY course, and it's called Manifesting Me with the Moon. And so what it does is it works through the new moons of the zodiac to help you set intentions, to help you find the aspects that you like to work with, be it like with the moon, with your energy centers, your chakras, deities, essential oils, all connected with the new moons through the zodiac. And that has now evolved into a program. So it's not only a course that you get pre-recorded lessons and materials, it is now a program, a living program that includes monthly coaching, mentoring, and Q&A lives. And you pay for the program once. You pay the price of the program, and then you have lifetime access to all of the materials. You automatically get any new upgrades that I add. So, for example, those people who had the course when it was DIY, when I incorporated this coaching aspect, turning it into a program and adding new materials, they automatically got that. Now, this coaching aspect, I'm saying you get access to the coaching as long as the program lives that way. Because I changed that program. I don't know if down the road in several years, it may change again. It may not. So you get the ongoing coaching for the price of the program. It's not a membership. Once you pay for the program, you can attend the coaching calls as often as you want. If you skip some time and then you realize, hey, this would be really helpful to get back into, you can jump back into it at any time that you want. And with that, with my birthday, like I said, I'm 52 today. Aries season is only 2 more days. The sun moves into Taurus on April 19th. So I am applying a 52% discount to the program. And I don't have it live here, but you'll find it in the notes or in the comments after this live ends. So that discount will go away at 11:59 p.m. Pacific on April 19th. So it's a 2-day sale, the last 2 days of Aries season, and 52% is obviously just slightly over half off of that price, of the whole price of the program. And the what is the word I'm looking for? The coupon code is birthday52. Birthday 52, and I'm going to put the link here. And if you are someone who already has the program or the course and hasn't joined the group for that, just let me know and I'll get you in there. Because if you already have access to the course, you don't need to pay for anything else. And if you're watching this or listening to this in the future, you can still join us. Obviously, the 52% is not going to be available to you, but you are able to access and join the program at any time, because it's like the lunar cycle. You can join in at any time. There is no wrong time, and you don't need to wait for the beginning of the year. You don't even need to wait for the new moon to start working with the lunar cycle, and you learn all these things in that program and in that in the calls and everything that goes along with that. So let's see. I think that is it. So I will put the information, the link. If you're watching this live, just wait a little bit for me, and I will put the link so that you can get that. The code, again, I will put it also, is birthday52. And right now in the materials, you will find the replay for the Aries new moon call that I did. And let's see if I can remember this off the top of my head. Every single lesson based on the zodiacs. Let's use Aries, because we're in Aries season right now still. So for the Aries lesson, you get a pre-recorded lesson. You get all the associations that I have included for each of the zodiac signs, which is the sign, obviously, the element that sign is in. Like, so Aries is a fire sign, so the element is fire. The planet that corresponds with the zodiac sign, the archangel and goddess that is associated with that sign, the energy center, the chakras that is associated with that sign, and an essential oil that corresponds to that as well. Now, you can use any of those things with your work in setting intentions and being in the lunar cycle or working with the lunar cycle, or none of them. Nothing is required. These are just components that I include. And then the next live call will be shortly before the Taurus new moon to talk about setting intentions and working through the lunar cycle for the Taurus new moon season. So as long as this program lives in this way, you have ongoing access to the coaching. And I will be honest with you, I had one of those like lesson learning moments when I had this inspiration or this guidance or whatever you want to call it to turn this into a living ongoing program. I realized that a shadow aspect that I had not really been aware of, it was a fear, I guess, or a shadow that I had not consciously put a voice to or acknowledged, is like, man, putting this out there as an ongoing living program also commits me to showing up and committing to this program on an ongoing basis. And I say that because working with the lunar cycle is what helped me develop that, and what helped me to just go ahead and commit to it Anyway, and I'll tell you what that means. Like before I turn this into a program, I offered workshops, and I'll continue to do that, but I offered workshops, or I had classes or something that were standalone. It's like, yes, you can choose to come to this workshop and it's a 1-day thing or a 2-day thing, but it wasn't like an ongoing commitment. And I did not realize I had that undercurrent working until it was like, oh, realizing that there was resistance, and what is this resistance? And to work through that, it's like, just go ahead. That means I am committing to you guys and to this program as well. It's not a one-off thing. So I feel really good about the way that I set this program up, where you pay for it once, whatever, with the discount or whenever you happen to get it. And then you have ongoing and, lifetime access to the program as it lives that way. So that was me getting over a hurdle. And once I did it, it still felt scary. It still feels a little scary, but I'm more and more excited about it. And I'm also getting like all these ideas of things to incorporate and add into the program. And you guys can also help with that from being in there and giving feedback and seeing what works and what doesn't work so well. And the thing that I am currently adding to the program is a playlist that goes with every zodiac sign. And the playlist is designed to help connect you or kind of give a feel for the energy of that zodiac sign. So for Aries, I put a bunch of songs on there that are, help you feel like getting started and stepping into who you are, and very fiery, starting, go-getting, fun energy. And so the playlist for Cancer, which is a water sign, is going to be more feeling the feels, and maybe, connecting with, feeling safe and nurtured and what makes you feel good in that sense. So each playlist will be a little different, and that will be in there for you to access and maybe inspire you to create your own playlist. So I think that is all I have for right now. And whether you start now in Aries season applying these things, or you keep this in your back pocket and you start at your birthday and start looking at your birthday, at your year as a personal year, a personal lunar cycle starting on the day that you were born. I hope it works. I hope it helps. Let me know if you have questions. And that is what I have for you guys this week. I will see you next week. And if you have questions at any time, the best way to get a hold of me is to email me. And the email is vision, VISION, @bluemoonmanifestations.com. And let's see, I will see you guys next week. Take care.